Okay, so today we're looking at something a little different. Not an app, not a gadget. This one's for the business owners watching, the freelancers, the people running an online store. We're talking about Heleket, and basically it's a way to accept cryptocurrency payments on your website. So if you've ever thought, should I let people pay me in Bitcoin or Ethereum? This video is for you. Now, before I get into it, quick heads up. This isn't an AI tool, even though a lot of best AI tools lists throw it in there. It's a crypto payment processor. Think of it kind of like Stripe, but instead of credit cards, it's built for crypto. So let's break down what it actually does, who it's for, and honestly, whether it's worth your time. So what's the actual pitch here? Heleket lets you plug crypto payments into your website. Customers pay you in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Monero, USDT, USDC, a pretty long list of coins actually, and you, the business owner, get paid. The fees they advertise start from 0.4%, which I have to say is genuinely low compared to a lot of traditional card processing, where you're often looking at 2-3% or more, especially for international transactions. And that international piece is actually a big deal. Because if you've ever tried to take payments from customers in different countries, you know the headache. Currency conversion, bank delays, weird holds on your funds. Crypto kind of sidesteps a lot of that. Money moves directly person to person, no bank sitting in the middle slowing things down. So for a business that sells globally, and a lot of online businesses do, even if you don't realize it, that's a real advantage. Now here's something that caught my eye. Heleket says you don't need to register a legal entity to start. You can literally create a personal account and start accepting payments, which, okay, on one hand, that's super convenient if you're a freelancer or you're just testing an idea and don't want to deal with paperwork on day one. But on the other hand, and I want to be fair here, that's also something to think carefully about. Because depending on where you live and depending on how much money you're moving, you might still have tax obligations or reporting requirements even without a registered business. So convenient, yes. A free pass to skip the legal side entirely, not exactly. Worth talking to an accountant about, not just taking the website's word for it. Let's talk about who this is actually built for. Looking at the page, they call out a few groups specifically. VPN and proxy services. Online gaming, so selling in-game currency or items. Retail for physical products. And online education, so courses and that kind of thing. And honestly, that lineup makes sense because those are exactly the kinds of businesses that one, sell digital or easily shippable stuff, and two, often have trouble getting approved by traditional payment processors in the first place. A lot of banks and card processors get nervous about VPNs or gaming platforms, so crypto payments become this alternative route that just works without the bank looking over your shoulder asking a million questions. Now let's get into the actual features, because this is where you can tell they've thought about real business use cases, not just, hey, send us crypto. First up, you can combine all your projects into one account. So if you're running multiple stores or multiple websites, you don't need 5 different logins, you get one dashboard with analytics for each project separately. That's actually pretty handy if you're scaling. Then there's auto withdrawal. Basically, you set a trigger, and once your balance hits a certain point, it automatically sends your funds to your personal wallet. Which, I like this, because it means you're not just sitting there with a pile of crypto on a third-party platform hoping nothing goes wrong. It gets swept out automatically. There's also mass payments, so if you've got a team or contractors you're paying regularly, you can pay everyone in bulk instead of doing it one by one. Saves time, obviously. And then the converter and auto converter features. This one's actually smart. Crypto is volatile, right? Bitcoin can swing 5-10% in a day. So if you're a business and you get paid in Bitcoin, but then the price drops before you do anything with it, that's a problem. The auto converter lets you automatically turn your earnings into something stable like USDT to avoid that volatility hit. So basically you get the benefit of accepting crypto without necessarily holding the risk of crypto, which I think is the smartest part of the whole platform, honestly. They also mentioned something called payment fee accuracy, which from what I can tell is about fine-tuning your fee settings to make the acquiring side more profitable. Not a ton of detail on the website about exactly how that works, so to be fair, I'd want to dig into their docs more before saying anything definitive there. Now let's talk integration, because this matters a lot. If setting this up requires a developer team and 3 weeks of work, that's a deal breaker for a lot of small businesses. But Heleket says they offer ready-made plugins for popular CMS platforms, so install a module and crypto payments just show up for your customers. They also have API integration for anyone who wants to build something custom and a simple payment form for businesses that just want something basic and fast. So there's a range here from plug and play to fully custom, which I think covers most use cases. Okay, so let's talk about the things I'd actually want answered before recommending this to someone outright. The website doesn't go super deep into things like withdrawal limits, exactly how fast transactions settle for every coin, because Bitcoin confirmation times are not the same as, say, a stable coin on a fast network, or what happens if a customer sends the wrong amount. Crypto payments can be a little less forgiving than card payments when something goes slightly wrong, so I'd want to see Heleket's actual documentation and maybe their support responsiveness before fully signing off. There's also a referral program, by the way. Invite people, and you can earn up to 30% from their payments through the platform, which is a nice bonus if you're already recommending tools to other business owners, but I wouldn't make a decision based on that alone. So bottom line, who is this actually good for? If you're running an online business that already has international customers, or you're in an industry that struggles to get approved by traditional payment processors, gaming, VPN, that kind of thing, this is genuinely worth looking into. The low advertised fees, the no legal entity required setup, and the auto conversion to stablecoins to dodge volatility, those are real practical advantages. Who should be more cautious? If you're not comfortable with crypto in general, if your customers are mostly people who'd never think to pay in Bitcoin anyway, or if you want airtight clarity on compliance and tax treatment before you touch anything, do your homework first. Maybe talk to a professional and read through Heleket's actual terms and AML policy before connecting it to a live store. And look, that's kind of the deal with any financial tool, AI or not. The flashy features are the easy part to sell you on. The boring stuff, the fees in the fine print, the support quality, how it behaves when something goes wrong, that's what actually decides if it's good for your business long term. So if you're considering this, I'd say go create the free personal account, poke around the dashboard, maybe even just test a tiny transaction yourself before you put it in front of real customers. Alright, that's the breakdown on Heleket. If you found this useful, let me know in the comments if you want a deeper dive into how crypto payment processing actually works behind the scenes, or a side-by-side with other processors out there. I'll catch you in the next one.